Cloud computing has become a quickly growing field in recent years, but while a lot of it seems to be geared toward enterprises at the moment, Microsoft has other plans for the future. During the FTC vs. Microsoft hearing, Microsoft revealed that one of its long-term strategies is to bring Windows 11, quote, increasingly to the cloud. This was announced as part of their modern life consumer space, meaning that Microsoft not only wants to make cloud PCs a part of businesses, but they also want to bring this to consumers as well. There are several points that Microsoft brought up in their goal for cloud-based Windows PCs that I want to address. First of all, they plan to develop this by, quote, building on Windows 365. Windows 365 is Microsoft's current version of a cloud-based Windows solution that Microsoft offers for businesses. For a monthly fee, businesses can deploy virtual Windows systems to users that can be run on any device. For example, if I have a license for Windows 365, I can run my Windows machine from my own Windows PC, an iPad, or even my iPhone. This cloud-based system would be responsible for storing my files, processing data, etc., meaning that my experience would be consistent across whatever device I run it on. Microsoft describes this as, quote, a full roaming of people's digital experience. In Windows, roaming is the ability for user data to be followed between devices. This is done by storing the data on a network rather than a single device. Since these new cloud-based PCs will store the data on external servers rather than the PCs themselves, this would allow everything to be accessible from any device that people will use. Second of all, Microsoft wants to use the cloud to, quote, enable improved AI-powered services. Microsoft has invested a major amount of resources into developing its AI systems. What started off as a ChatGPT-style chatbot system in Bing is now developing into an incredibly sophisticated AI system. Microsoft is currently working on integrating this AI into Windows itself as Microsoft CoPilot, and ultimately, their goal is to use cloud-based PCs as a way to further this, making AI a more deeply integrated aspect of the Windows experience. There are a few different ways I potentially see this going in the future. One potential way is that PCs would still be sold, but they would be specifically designed to run cloud-based Windows rather than local copies. A second way is that there could be two types of PCs, ones that run local copies of Windows and ones that are designed to run cloud-based Windows. And a third potential way is that PCs would still run local copies of Windows, but the Windows 365 program would be offered to the average consumer rather than just businesses. Personally, considering that Microsoft wants to move Windows 11 increasingly to the cloud and their intentions behind it, I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be a full transition from local Windows to cloud Windows. If it does work out this way, there are a few ways that I see Microsoft potentially going about this. One potential way could be that every new PC would come with a permanent Windows 365 license, offering some features like AI integration to users who pay an additional monthly subscription. A second way could be that PCs themselves would be initially cheaper, but users would be required to pay a subscription to use Windows itself. A third way could be that users would get a free trial of Windows 365, meaning that users would have to begin paying after a certain amount of time. And a fourth possible way is that these PCs would run a cloud-based version of Windows in S mode, and for a monthly subscription, they would have access to the full version of Windows 11. However Microsoft decides to approach this, non-Windows users would likely have to pay a fee one way or another. Overall, I believe that the biggest benefits to this would be security and flexibility. Cloud-based systems are typically regarded as being more secure than local systems, as the servers that run the operating systems are managed by people who have more security experience. In addition to this, the flexibility of having a cloud PC would also be useful for people who commonly switch devices or want to operate a full Windows system from a device that doesn't support it. People who use iPads as their main computers, for example, would be able to run a full PC operating system when they need it, and iPad OS with their own personal apps when they don't. And all this can be done in the browser. Despite this, I see one of the biggest downsides being privacy. While Windows has never really been a privacy-oriented operating system, the big focus Microsoft is placing on AI would likely make it that much more intrusive. This is especially true since Microsoft is making it increasingly more prevalent and ingrained in the Windows experience, and AI already collects tons of data used for fine-tuning it and making it more accurate. This next question I have for you is, do you think that cloud-based Windows PCs will coexist alongside normal PCs? And would you use a cloud PC as your main computer? Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all around. Adios.